Trump is the new president, and last Friday, hip-hop legend Snoop Dogg played at the Crypto Ball in Washington, D.C. that was hosted by David Sachs, Trump's crypto czar pick, if you will, to celebrate the incoming administration. And another rap legend, Nelly, performed at the Liberty inaugural ball.
So he actually
on Monday.
performed at the inauguration.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
And NBC News reports that rappers Rod Wave, Kodak Black, and Fivio, or whatever his name is, Fivio, it's a mouse name, right? Will also allegedly attend these events. I don't know if they did or not. But I have a clip here from King Green and Torre, who have a cool, show called Rap Latte, a YouTube channel that you should check out. So let's talk about this a little bit after they talk about what they talk about.
As far as why we're seeing more and more rappers supporting Trump, and I understand some of it, but I don't totally understand it. We talked a lot about it during the election as far as Sexy Red, Kodak Black, Kanye. It seemed like it was not a pariah thing to do or be in 2024, where in 2016 we were like, oh my God, Boss Hogg wants to be president. In 2024, a lot of rappers were like, maybe. Does a rapper supporting Trump right now make you say, I don't like you anymore as a musician, or agree to disagree, I'm still going to listen to the music? Kanye, Snoop, Fivio, whoever? Or are you like, nah, that turns me off, I'm not you anymore? I mean, I have a hard time rocking with rappers who support Trump. I can't in my heart yet put that on Snoop, because I don't think Snoop is with Trump. I think he just said, I will go get a check and go back home. I don't think Snoop cares about politics one way or another. But Kanye, Kodak, Sexy Red, some of the other people, Nicki, made a decision based on whatever information they had and wanted, and let the world know, this is where I stand. And when this white supremacist dictator was rolling into power, you said, I like that guy. What? Like, that's nuts. But that happened, and that angers me about those people.
Say it with your chest.
Hey, no,
Tell us how you really feel.
No, I mean, I agree. I personally agree with Torre on this. Like, I have, and this is not new on this show. I mean, I don't separate creatives from their art or artists from their art, because I feel like great artists pull from who they are.
As far as Snoop is concerned, I do think he just did it for the check. Yeah. I think one of the things that Donald Trump and Snoop Dogg have very much in common is they really like who likes them. And so if he can get in front of people who will applaud and cheer for him, and, you saw I thought it was very awkward when I saw the pictures that he took at this crypto ball and the pictures of the crowd at the crypto ball. There wasn't another black person pretty much in the entire room. If not, they didn't.
The soundtrack at the crypto ball that he was spinning was quite awkward.
So I have a lot less of a problem with Snoop than I do with Nelly. I don't even care. That Soulja Boy was there too. I know Soulja Boy was there for the check. He said as much. At least I can respect him for being honest. At least he said, look, I was here for the money.
But at the same time, like Nelly said, the money wasn't important. And to me, that made it worse.
That made it worse. And that he said, I don't know anything about this guy being racist. And now basically everybody has gone out of their way to school him on his history of racist behavior, whether it be his renting practices, his hiring practices when he had a casino, what he called for the deaths of the Central Park Five. What if we just say Donald Trump, he completely became a new person in 1995, and that's why Method Man had him on his album, and but you don't have to go back that far to where he not only said that Haitians were eating dogs and cats, but he doubled down on it when asked about it, and so that's nothing he's ever apologized for, or when he was given the correct information, he still said that was true. And like, that's about Haitians, but that is about othering just black people in general. Because if you live anywhere in that area, they're just going to assume that, you are, amongst the Haitians who are eating dogs and cats. And, there's a history of just attaching a certain level of, I don't even want to say savagery, because that's how they see it. You know, it's like, well, they do this, and that's why you can't have them around your kids, and that's why we got to close off. We got to have different lunch counters and different water fountains, because they do these things, and you don't want that around your fine white children. You know, so
I mean,
we're talking. So when you can say, oh, he's not that, but like he did this recently. There's enough things that Donald Trump has done in the last 10 years that even if we dismiss everything that we're talking about, as far as if we're talking about
last year. I mean,
you know, the hiring practice. Say we want to leave all that Trump casino and real estate stuff in the past. There's enough he's done since he's been a public political figure that you can point to and say, well, what about this, Nelly? You know, so to say that's, you know, like I said, I feel like everybody else just went and got a check. I don't think they care. I just think Snoop, the bag must have been so significant and he can come back to the neighborhood and be like, man, I just went for the bag. And I guarantee that's what he's saying. I'm not sure if you've seen his Instagram, but he's tried to, like, in his own way, backpedal, not even by making statements, but by just what and I tell you what, his comment sections are in a shambles right now.
And they should be. I mean, that's kind of what I feel. I mean, like the amount of like mental gymnastics that you have to perform to try to defend Trump at this point, like you are either completely complicit, or you're completely like, or you just don't know. You know, like you just don't pay attention at all. Like these things don't matter to you personally enough for you to care, because you are like Trump. I kind of agree with what Torre said here, in the sense of like, I think Snoop probably did just do it for a bag, but at the same time, it's like, why? Because you're rich, you don't need to. You don't need to do this. Like, there's no reason for you to like, who on your team thought that this was a good idea? Like, you can't hide this. You can't, even if it's a private event, you can't hide the fact that you're doing an inauguration. Yeah. You know, the Nelly thing, the Soulja Boy thing, the Rick Ross thing, like, these are people in general, like, they've shown us multiple times that they don't really care about anything outside of themselves to some degree.
Yeah, because money changes people. I think
they've been apolitical pretty much up to this point. Well, I can't even say that with Snoop, because like there are some conservatives who were upset that he was at the crypto ball, because they remember when he did the video with, you know, the fake Donald Trump in it.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with Snoop. The optics.
Snoop is the only one.
Yeah.
Snoop is the only one. Everybody else, I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
But Snoop, but also because Snoop had that video that he dropped in 2017.
Exactly.
Calling, you know, who's going to be the one that comes out and performs.
Who's going to pretty much be the one that shucks and jives and does this for Trump. So
ain't nobody going to perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck out one of you.
That's the thing that bothers me about the whole Snoop situation. Regardless if he did something at a event that had Trump there or not, because you can't say something like that and be so passionate about it and then show up to this. Now, I do know he's been instrumental as far as it's concerned with crypto. Like, I remember at one time when the what was that, the
metaverse?
When everybody was doing the monkeys.
Oh, like the NFT joints.
The NFTs. Yeah. I know Snoop had NFTs and stuff back then. So I know he's into crypto, and he's talked about it on I think the first album that came out on Death Row once he actually purchased it.
I remember that now.
He ended up speaking about crypto on that album. Yeah. So those metrics kind of add up to why he might have done something like that. So it's like, okay, I get that. But with Nelly, even with Nelly, though.
Well, even real quick with Trump, there's also the thing with Harry O, where Trump pardoned Harry O. So
was it Harry O that he pardoned?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. No, that wasn't because he was. Was Harry O pardoned?
No, 2021.
2021. There was somebody else that I want to say, one of Snoop's friends, that he was trying to get Biden to pardon, I believe. I see. And I think Trump.
Oh wait, if this is 2021, that doesn't make sense, because that would be Biden. Let me double check.
Yeah, because Biden, you know, I think didn't he?
Somebody recent, Snoop actually posted somebody in his story a few days ago, pretty much stating that they were trying to get somebody he knows pardoned. So I don't know if it was the same person.
Well, then this makes a lot more sense to me now.
Snoop Dogg thanks Trump for pardoning Death Row Records co-founder Michael Harry O. Harris in 2021.
Okay,
that must have been one of the ones he did on his way out.
Okay, so that, I guess that was kind of him posting in his story was the proof, or pretty much trying to say this is why. But I mean, when we go to Nelly, though, Nelly is a different type of situation. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of us, the first time we heard Nelly in Country Grammar, he literally said, Bill Gates,
out, right?
Donald Trump, let me in now.
Yeah.
So this has been his mission from the very beginning, essentially. You know what I'm saying? So he can say that
this is the long play.
Nobody else invited me to perform, and I see it as an honor to perform. It's like, we know who you were. He said this is a Kanye West situation. Like, Kanye, I'm the asshole. And then when he starts doing so, we're like, well, why did you do that? Well, I told you I was an asshole.
Yeah.
He literally told you what he was about when he first came in the game. I'm trying to sit with Trump. But the situation that kind of makes it make sense to me too is, I know we talk about artists who have shared a political side of things or made songs in that nature to address certain things. Nelly is not one of those artists.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He's never addressed anything political, anything that made any kind of social sense, so to speak. And then he might have a chip on his shoulder because back in 2004, you remember when he was supposed to do like a benefit for his sister. His sister died from a disease.
Oh, yeah. She needed a bone marrow transplant.
Right. Okay. So he was supposed to do a benefit at Spelman University.
Yeah, I remember that he got backlash.
But he got the backlash
for the tip drill video.
Because of the tip drill video. And they wanted to meet with him prior or before that happened. He didn't want to do that. So he didn't end up meeting or having this benefit. Allegedly, I heard that he was saying if that benefit were able to happen, then he possibly could have saved his sister's life.
I remember that as well, yeah.
So I kind of think when it comes down to caring about other people and what they think, I think that might have something to do with it possibly. I mean, I'm just talking. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's an angle I haven't heard.
Mm-hmm.
But you could be right. It was like, look, I'm gonna do what I want to do, because if I cared about what y'all thought, you know, I might have been in a different place right now. You know, like I said, man, Snoop, highest bidder. He goes, eyes, you know, that is one thing that he has done. But, you know, sometimes I wonder how much is enough, because, you know, all of these Snoop, Rick Ross, Nelly, these guys have made a lot of money, whether it be through endorsements, record sales, touring, you know. And so it's like, where does it come in? Is there anything that you'll say no to? I mean, like, and now that you've done it, was the money that you got worth it for you to have to go through this where people are questioning your integrity? You know, because, you know,
they're in a situation they don't care. I mean, again, these are millionaires.
Yeah.
Sometimes we forget, might be close to being a billionaire. I mean, Snoop is the people's champion when it comes to hip hop as far as being able to recognize you. But here's the thing too. Even if people cancel Snoop, he's not canceled, because he still has a whole side of America. Like, if we split America down the middle now, because I mean, essentially there's two sides of America. Right. I mean, we call it Republicans and Democrats, but actually there's other people like us that don't feel comfortable identifying with one party. I know I don't personally.
No, me neither.
Well, I don't think it's less. I think it's less left and right. I think we're starting to get a little bit more aware of class consciousness. Of it's less about Republicans and Democrats. It's more so about the wealthy class versus the common class. And Snoop is aligning himself with the wealthy class and the billionaire class of that manner by doing something like this. So I think there could be implications. There could be backlash because of this, simply because look, man, like, there's no reason Snoop had for doing this. Like you are aligning yourself with white supremacy when you do this. It's just what you're doing. Like, there's no way that we can dance around that fact. Like, cool, I'll go do it. Nelly, he doesn't care. Don't care. But Snoop knew better. You know what I mean? And so, hey, that's my take on it.
Past, to his past, being somebody whose first single that we heard from him was 187 on a motherfucking cop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So for him to, and I'm not saying that like identifies him, that particular song, but you came from an era where hip hop was political. That's the whole reason you made that song. That song wasn't about just going out killing a cop. You know what I'm saying? If you really listen to it, it's more so on the, you know what I'm saying, you did something or you're a crooked cop, essentially. It's not just every cop. But
it's about the system of policing.
It's absolutely about the police.
Right. And then you can follow that along, you know.
It's political.
Exactly.
But now you're in a situation where the Snoop Dogg of the past isn't the same Snoop Dogg that we have now, because he's been able to change his image based on his affluence. Technically, you know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. I have no problems with I mean, we've talked about this ad nauseum on the show. Like, I have no problem with Snoop going out and getting as much money as he can, but like, it's just so hypocritical of him. I think that's the thing. And like, it's just what it is. You know, it's just like, he did that. He aligned with it. He didn't have to. He's not starving. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be different if it was like, shouts to Open Mike Eagle, because I did a reaction on his video where he talked about this, which was really great. But like, he talked about, you know, he made two kind of funny jokes. One, he said, I think that rich people shouldn't rap anymore. And if they do want to rap, they should only rap to other rich people. That's kind of what he said, you know, like, and my take on that was like, cool, but just stay over there if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
But the other thing that he mentioned was related to having more of an understanding if it's like an artist that is struggling, you know, like if it's an independent artist and they're trying to
like Lil Pump that just wants to be seen.
Well, not even like that. Like if it's like an independent artist, it's already hard out here for independent artists anyways, right? So, you know, and one of Mike's points was related to corporate events and how you get paid more because they just suck. Yeah, essentially,
sort of
you know,
and the budget is crazy.
And we've all kind of done corporate events, and the budget's higher. And sometimes, you know, as a creative, that's where sometimes you can get that extra money to like survive a little bit, right? It's one thing to do that as like somebody in that manner, and another thing to do it as a Snoop Dogg where you don't need to. Now, granted, I would still don't think there's a difference in whether you should do it or not necessarily to this degree, like a Trump inauguration, like unless you rock with Trump like that, but there is a little bit of nuance in there as well.
You know what I think about now? It's just like, we can say, oh yeah, remember when Snoop was this, that, and the third, and you know, you think even just being from the West Side, where which gave us an anthem, F Donald Trump. You know, how do we go from F Donald Trump to just performing at the crypto ball? But I also have to think about this. Snoop Dogg is somebody's millionaire grandfather. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't have the same priorities as, you know, us. He just doesn't. Like what he's thinking about as far as branding and maybe expanding his brand. Like if he can get some of these folks to get into, because this is the thing, like he was like, okay, say we do as a culture begin to turn our back on Snoop Dogg and he starts to lose opportunity within the culture. He set it up to where like, hey, he'll be able to come around, you know, all these, you know, January 6 people and play songs for them. Maybe he's thinking, you know, I'll do this. There's more money on that side. I would hope he's not that far gone, but you know, like this seems like this could be a whole play like that for him. Like I said, Nelly, I don't, because
same thing with Nelly too, though.
Yeah, you're right, because you know what, he's been getting money on that side with, you know, the country music situation.
Yeah, the country music. When he goes on tour, he's with like New Kids on the Block.
Yeah,
or he's with like a Boys to Men. It's like a legacy tour. Yeah. So most of the people that are buying tickets not based upon your political views, but I'm literally here to probably see New Kids on the Block. But Nelly's here. Is an added feature. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to rock with him. But in the same token, I don't personally think it affects his career.
No.
It probably doesn't.
It probably doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, the crazy thing is I saw someone say, hey, maybe radio stations should stand down on playing on Nelly, Snoop Dogg, Soulja Boy, and Rick Ross. They don't play they don't play their records now anyway. Yeah. These aren't contemporary artists. Like, so, I mean, I understand. This shows how when I saw the post, I was like, okay, I get what you're trying to say, but this shows
I've seen the same post.
That's where you're disconnected from what's going on out here.
Do you think, I know we spent this time harping on Snoop and Nelly, but are we going too light on them in the same sense? Like, because you remember what happened in 2016 with, what's her name? Chrisette Michele. And she essentially just disappeared off the planet. You know, like if this was Kid Rock,
we wouldn't care.
We wouldn't care.
We would expect that from him.
We would expect that from him, right? But but do we go softer on Snoop because of it?
Yes, because honestly, we should have the same energy that we had for Chrisette Michele.
Should, but the thing about it is Chrisette Michele isn't the same type of artist, unfortunately. You're right. And
she might, if she did it for the check, it's one of those people I would understand. What else is she really booking?
Me personally, I didn't see a reason to cancel Chrisette Michele even back then. Because I mean, when we think about the optics or somebody canceling somebody, so to speak, and even your point of somebody that mentioned boycotting their songs on the radio, I think we should spend that time figuring out something else, because that doesn't add to anything to benefit us, even by boycotting these people.
Yeah.
They're already in a situation to where they're like, all right, you boycotting me? Oh, well, I'm rich anyway. I can disappear into oblivion and not have to worry about y'all. But then on the other hand, do we really want to sit at the table? Like people say, do you want to sit at the table? So if Snoop and Nelly had an ulterior motive to where they want to use this opportunity to actually put things on the forefront, I'm for that.
I'm not, because I don't want to be a part of that table.
No, okay, so there's two different scenarios as far as being a part of that table or not.
Okay.
And this is the same situation when it comes to them telling young black men to become cops, essentially, so that you can change the situation from within.
Right.
It's just what it looks like.
But you can't do that. That's not a thing.
You can't, but you can. You have to be a part of something to change it, essentially. And this is just
these are
hypotheticals.
These are ideological differences that we have. But yes,
these are hypotheticals. If they were doing it in a situation to where they wanted to get in and actually put things on the table for them to actually talk about and address and actually do something about, versus just showing up to say you so-called support because this is a high honor and you know this is the president of the United States and there's troops out there fighting for our freedom. What is it to me to go perform? Yeah. If you were in a situation to where you actually want to sit at the table with them and figure something out, I mean, you just pardon the what are they called? The Proud Boys and whatever, blah blah blah. To me, that doesn't sound like he's going down the right path that he should be going down. Yeah. But if you wanted to sit at the table with him, or somebody that would actually speak some sense into our country, so to speak, because that is the representation of our country. Yeah, I could see it, but the way that he came across does not show any of that. You know what I'm saying?
Now that I think about it, we bring up Chrisette Michele. We should be a lot harder on the people who perform for Donald Trump now, because at least then we could say, okay, maybe he will be presidential. Maybe he will try to do something to bring us together. He got the benefit of the doubt then. Like, I remember when Dave Chappelle did his monologue, and tried to say, okay, well, we with you. We got to try to get through this. But now, after Charlottesville, after January 6th, after the dog eating the dogs and cats,
after the declaration that you're going to try to deport,
after calling
2 million immigrants,
African countries, shithole countries, after all the things, after, denigrating, Colin Kaepernick, after all these things, we have a clear picture of who you are and how you move, not only in private, but in as far as your policy is concerned. We should really hold them accountable. Yeah. I think, honestly, if anything, Chrisette Michele, I could give you, we were upset at the time because, especially when everybody said, hey, this may not be the best idea, but she did it anyway. It's whatever. But now that we have a clear picture of him basically, pardoning a bunch of people who, if they look anything like us, they would not be pardoned.
Exactly. Those were, what did he call them? The Proud Boys or whoever had the tiki torches? They were upstanding. Yeah.
Oh, upstanding people.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's enough for me. The fact that he promised to do this and he did it, and he let all these, like I said, I don't ever want to hear from a certain segment from that side of the aisle about about law enforcement when you literally let people out of jail who assaulted police officers. I can't take you seriously now.
For sure.
Yeah. The only way to boycott anything is to hit them in the pockets. And I'm not talking about these artists that we're talking about. Granted, they did some bullshit, but we also seen at this inauguration, we seen the owners of Meta.
Yep.
We seen the owners of Amazon. We seen the owners of X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, right there, right beside him.
Yep.
We're talking about boycotting people. Yeah. And you're using these same apps that all of these people own to talk about boycotting somebody. Yep. So
we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. But yeah, I was curious if, about the same type of energy from Chrisette Michele versus Snoop and all that stuff,
But it's also, I mean, she wasn't the superstar artist that they were, but also I think we, I hate to be, it sounds like pandering, but I was like, it's much easier for us to jump on this black woman for doing something.
Yeah, it's low hanging fruit at the end of the day. This wasn't anybody that was in stature as far as when it comes to entertainment. We still have to worry about who is and who isn't supporting R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? R. Kelly did some heinous crimes, but people are still kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's cool if you play it. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm not even saying that like boycotts should or trying to cancel. I don't know if I really agree in canceling or anything like that. But I do believe in accountability and everything related to that. So
I do like what I don't know if you've seen Van Lathan. When he broke down Nelly's whole thing about how that's where like I said, man, it's like. I would just be happy. I'm happy when people say, "Hey, man, I did it for the money." Like instead,
at least we know.
Yeah, but you in here
don't even really need
smiling and tap dancing.
It's almost worse.
Yeah, but you know what? That's you can never say what somebody else needs. Just like I don't need another hockey jersey. I just want it. So like that might have been. It's just not like he needs the money to try to make payroll or pay his mortgage or whatever. He just wanted it.
And I think that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like I don't really personally care necessarily, but at the same time, like it just reveals to me who these people are. That's really all it is. Cool. This is who you are. You're willing to do this for X amount of money. There's a price tag for you. You're going to do this. That's who you are. Cool. I know who you are now. It's just a personal thing for me. Like, does it mean that I'm going to cancel them? I don't even know what that really means. You know what I mean? But maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
did I remove all of Nelly and Snoop songs from my restaurants playlist? I sure did. It is what it is. I found some other people who, and they won't be missed like that. But I mean,
I guarantee you that when what is your favorite joint where you say "goddamn"?
Oh no! If Gin and Juice came on,
no, not Gin and Juice. Like, it ain't no fun.
Oh yeah, ain't no fun. Yeah.
That's going right.
Yeah, that's still going.
Yeah, so
I might sneak in a joke about it, but
it's going. And I ain't picking on you, but I'm just saying.
But right now,
I'ma still play it.
I mean, like, yeah, but as far as like when I'm at work, I was like, no, I don't feel like playing. I
think a lot of times the whole thing about canceling somebody is this is what's in for this week and next week and the following week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it disappears because Snoop hasn't said anything about it.
That's what he should be doing.
He's just doing like cryptic kind of posts that have, to maybe, I don't know what he's doing, but it's weird.
He made one post that pretty much said it's crypto. He did, and it wasn't even a post. It was just in his story. So if you didn't watch the story, you wouldn't have seen it. He hasn't said anything. Nelly has doubled down, and it's funny because the energy he had with the interview with Willie D was different than the energy that he had with the interview with whoever he talked to second. With Willie D, it was more so sticking out his chest, and then the second one was him trying to explain it a little more softer for people to understand. But I mean, it was essentially the same thing. I don't know. That's neither here nor there.
I don't know, man. I just don't like any of it. I hate to say hate because I really don't hate anything, but like
you dislike.
But I really hate Donald Trump and everything he stands for, and I hate that people.
I know you say hate there.
I know intentionally, and like they're evil, and when I see somebody posit and align themselves in that type of manner, no matter what it is, to not have either be ignorant to the implications of it or anything, to me it just puts a bad taste in my mouth, and I don't really want to fuck with you anymore, and that's just kind of what it is. So if they're cool with that, they don't care about me, that's okay, and that they don't care about people that have those same type of feelings, that's cool, you know what I mean? But like, we started off this show like talking about we have 4 years of this shit coming, so it's
so we're gonna have to pick and choose our battles for the next 4 years.
And I quite honestly, I'd rather battle them, the fact that there is a chance that they're going to uncap the price on insulin.
Exactly. Like there's so many things. Like,
come on, man.
Like, I'm sure Snoop didn't have a conversation with his wife today about his wife being worried about being stopped as an immigrant and what all that stuff concerns. I did.
He might have had to talk with her about lupus and how the price of medicine has went up because your president decided to up the price. I mean, that's what's crazy about it. And I hate to get too far into politics, but for somebody to have that much disrespect for the other side of politics, and you all are pretty much running things together to get rid of something that benefits all of America, and to get rid of it based off of your dislike for the other side is crazy.
Yeah,
because these people don't have money like you.
Yeah.
So if everything is capped at $30, and now your first day in office, you decide to roll that back to where no, they can charge you whatever.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like and I'll end my part here as like, but that again, that goes with the class related thing. Mm-hmm. I think it's less left right. Like the people, we're still looking at this as left right, but it's really even the insulin thing. That's a wealthy. That's the corporations profitizing healthcare. That's business. That's the oligarchy that we are in right now. You talked about the tech people at Trump's inauguration. All that's like, that's where we're at right now. And I wish people would focus more on that as opposed to, like hating somebody, on the other side, which is why when you have power like Snoop does and Nelly does, like it's frustrating to see people be that ignorant or to be that just kind of oblivious.
We're not using it for the greater good of what their influence can actually do.
Yeah.